Hi, I'm Allison. It's good to sit down with you today. What's your name?
My name's James.
James. All right. Well, thanks for coming in today. I've looked over a little bit of what you've got going on, but I just wanted to start off by asking, you said James is your first name. Is that your preferred name to go by, or do you go by a nickname at all?
James is fine.
Okay, perfect. So today we're going to be going over some questions just for me to get a better idea of what's been going on and how I can best help you moving forward. I do want to let you know that the things that we talk about today will be confidential, and that I won't be sharing that information with people outside of your specific care team that's helping you to work on these goals. The only exception of that would be if you disclose any kind of abuse, or if there's anyone whose life is an immediate risk based on something that you've told me, and I will always let you know that something you've said will need to be disclosed so that you're not caught off guard by that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, so when you say like at immediate risk, what do you mean? So like if can you just explain that? That makes
Mm-hmm.
me a little bit nervous.
Yeah. No, if you were to say something to me that worries me, that you may harm yourself, or that harm is going to come to someone close by you, or that kind of thing, then that's something I'm going to need a little more information about, and we may need to report if it's clear that someone is in serious risk of harm immediately. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
it's not just like if I say something, you automatically do it. You'll like make
No.
sure. Okay.
Nope. I'll ask some more questions and we'll kind of see what's going on before we do that. And then, like I said, I would let you know before anything like that would actually be done if I did need to tell anybody else.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Um, all right. So you said your preferred name is James. How old are you?
I am 33,
33. Okay. And what do you identify as your race or ethnicity?
Caucasian.
Caucasian. Okay. All right. Then if we can start by just telling me a little bit about what has been going on, who kind of referred you to come here, or what was the purpose of your visit here to see me today?
So, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was um just trying to get a lot of chores done around the house and trying to like entertain my children at the same time. And I've got five, so there's always some great need going on. And I just really was trying to focus on those chores because we had a whole day planned for the next day, and I wasn't gonna have time to do the chores. And I just out of nowhere, I just felt like I couldn't breathe, like I was taking in deep breaths, but it felt like I wasn't getting any air. And then my heart was just like I could like almost see it just pounding through my shirt. And then all of a sudden I just felt like I was gonna throw up, but I didn't throw up. And then the next thing I know, my both my left and right arm just went like numb or tingly. And so my spouse called the ambulance, and we thought I was having a heart attack, and the hospital said I didn't have a heart attack and that I was a perfectly healthy 33-year-old male. Um and they were, they suggested maybe that I contact your agency to set up services to see if maybe I'm dealing with too much stress um or what. I don't know. Something like this did happen a couple of months ago too.
Okay.
Um but it's just I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like that was really scary. How can you tell me a little bit about the circumstances that surrounded it when you said a few months ago? Is that how long ago you said the last time it happened?
Yes.
Okay, what was going on at that point that kind of led into when you started feeling those feelings?
Trying to think of exactly what happened. I was my professor like assigned this super tedious project, and I was trying to work on that. And my spouse was, I want to say he went to his dad's house, and I was home alone with the kids while trying to work on this project, and I was just trying to juggle both things.
Hmm.
And I don't know if like I'm getting too stressed out and like possibly having heart problems or what.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like both times that you felt like there was a lot on your plate in that moment, a lot going on, and it started to just build until it felt like you started to feel those shaky feelings and heart racing, that kind of thing. Does that sound right?
Mhm.
Okay. And it's those two instances, are those the only times that you've had that kind of feeling?
In my adulthood, yes.
Okay. Um, have you ever seen any kind of therapist or anything like that in the past for after that had happened the first time or anything like that?
No,
No.
the first time that it happened, I didn't seek any medical attention. I just kind of changed my diet up, started drinking a lot more water, backed off the salts, stuff like that. So no, I didn't.
Okay. And for each of those instances, do you remember at all how long that feeling lasted? That you were having that high heart rate and the numbness in your arms, the kind of the whole experience?
The one that happened about 3 weeks ago, I felt like it wasn't gonna stop because it was just so persistent. But then when they put the oxygen mask on me,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was starting to like get air and
Okay.
it kind of just stopped, but
Okay, good.
just oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
First time, um, I think I just got out of my office chair and I want to say I took a walk around the
Okay.
neighborhood and that stopped it.
Okay. Well, that's good that you were able to do that and kind of calm it down on your own that first time without having to go into the hospital. Have you ever been hospitalized at all for anything in the past other than going to the ER with this experience?
Um, Not as an adult, no.
Okay. Have you taken any kind of psychiatric medications at all in the past?
When I was a kid, but not
Okay.
as an adult.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask what the purpose of those medications were? What you were taking those for?
So I guess I was always just really tough on myself
Mm.
in school, and anytime that I felt like I wasn't doing good enough in, a certain subject, or if I felt like a big project wasn't good enough, then I would um my mom calls them like episodes. I have an episode of like freaking out and crying and getting upset. And so it just started to happen a lot. And it was always surrounded by like me trying to do the best I could with all of my responsibilities.
Okay.
And so she did take me to, but that was just for with my pediatrician. And he just
Okay.
put me on, I don't remember what it was called, but it was just like an anxiety medication for kids, I think.
Okay.
I only took it for like a month and then I just stopped.
Okay. Um, do you know of anybody in your family that's ever experienced anything like this? Any kind of mental health concerns or substance abuse, anything like that?
So I've never met my dad,
Okay.
but from what my mom says, um he wasn't a very good person. I know
Okay.
that he did use meth, and that's the reason she left. She left before I was born.
Okay.
And it's because he was using meth, and she said that he was really abusive to her.
Mm, okay.
I don't know that he had, I don't know, would you consider that a mental health problem or?
I mean, it could be. It's hard to know for sure what all was going on since it sounds like you didn't have much of a personal relationship with him. Um, So it's hard to know for sure, but I'm sure that that probably has affected your childhood and your experience with your mom, having your dad kind of out of the picture growing up.
Yeah. That's all I really know. I mean,
Okay.
my brother went to rehab for I think it was drinking.
Okay.
His drinking, yeah, it was his drinking was getting out of control. But that's all I can really think of.
Okay. And do you personally have any history of substance use? Any kind of drug or alcohol history for yourself?
Oh no, I'm way too scared to do something like that.
Okay.
The first time I drank coffee, was the first time that I became addicted to coffee.
Okay.
And like, I picked up smoking when I was 17 and I still smoke. So I just know I've got a really addictive personality. So
Okay.
I won't even mess around with anything that could ruin my life.
Yep. No, that's good. Good to know that about yourself and kind of make your choices based on those things that you have become aware of.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to hear a little bit more about, so growing up, you said you were with your mom and your brother, is that correct?
I have another brother.
Another brother too? Okay. How, other than the fact that your dad wasn't there, how was your childhood growing up, your relationship with your mom and brothers?
Really good. My mom is a school teacher. So we were always, at school while she was at work, and then we were home when she was home, and then
Okay.
we had the summers off. Of course, on a school teacher's salary, we had to buy a lot of like thrift store clothes and a lot of Hamburger Helper and
Mhm.
ramen noodles. Um, but she always found a way to make sure that we were happy and had fun and still gained a lot of experiences in our childhood. Uh,
That's good.
yeah.
And then how about in school? How were you in school growing up? What can you tell me that kind of sticks out of how that went for you?
Always made straight A's. In fact, I graduated valedictorian. Um, and that was graduating a whole year early too.
Wow.
Skipped a grade. And
Yeah.
um I received a scholarship right after, like, when I graduated for college.
Mhm.
And then um I don't know, it's like when I had to start like living by myself and all that stuff, I I I don't know, I just fell apart and kind of blew the scholarship and lost it, and I had to move back in with my mom.
Okay. And then can you tell me a little bit about your home life right now? You said you have a spouse and 5 children. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are those all healthy relationships? Is there anything notable about kind of
Yes.
your home
So
life now?
my spouse and I have always wanted kids, and in 2016, we had finally saved up enough money to go the surrogacy route. So that's where we got our little girl. And then um our son, our 3-year-old, I'm sorry, 4, he just turned 4. That was through a private adoption. And then I used to work for a school district and I adopted one of my students. And
Mhm.
then right now we have 2 foster kids. And that, I mean, I feel like those are both healthy relationships. They are stressful though. Trying to take on their, trauma and help them cope through it. And then having to learn how to parent a child that is yours intermittently.
Mhm.
uh, And then, it's just that's the difficult part of it. But I
Mhm.
mean, for the most part, they're really good kids and it's pretty good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. It sounds like you've got some really great strengths going for you in terms of your relationships now and your achievement in school and some of the things that you were able to do. Um, but it does seem like that some of the stress and anxiety of things that you've been going through lately have been a bit of a problem and have caused definitely some challenges, especially with having to go to the hospital this last time. So I would say that I think it would be wise for us to continue working together. I think maybe meeting together weekly, if that's something that you think you can fit in right now, and we'll go over some different methods just to help cope with some of that and change some of those thoughts of just needing to handle everything and take on everything all at once, and try to get to a healthier place with that. So I think that's what I'll be recommending going forward, if that's something you're open to.
I am. I'm struggling to understand what the purpose of therapy is when it's clearly my heart that's giving me problems. The doctors just can't figure out what it is.
Well, so from a medical standpoint, and that's something that we can kind of connect with over time as well. We can continue to whether that's you seeing the doctor again, or if there's ever a referral, that I need to be in contact with anybody at all to see if your heart is actually bringing any kind of concern that is going with this. But our therapy sessions would help to kind of retrain some of the way that your brain is taking in information and the way that your body's responding to it. And so whether or not there is a heart thing going on, some of those kind of things can help as well in terms of the way that your mind is reacting to stress can also help the way that your body reacts to stress. And so those are some of the kind of things that we'll be working when we meet weekly. We'll go over some of those ways to almost retrain your brain into how you handle those. And then there'll be some little homework and things to do in between the sessions for you to really recognize when you start to feel that way, how can I think about this differently, that kind of thing. So that'll be what we're working on together, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being so open with me today. And I look forward to working with you going forward.
All right. Thank you.
All right.